Okay, good day, everybody. It's nice to have you here. So, the video is going to be about us learning Golang, and we're going to be learning it from scratch. I do plan to make this a series, which means there will be multiple videos, probably an hour long, where we pretty much go through some of the fundamentals and just learn. This is not necessarily a tutorial, but more or less an insight into how a developer studies a new language. So primarily, I program using the JavaScript slash TypeScript and Python, but in this case, we are going to be transitioning into Golang. We are going to be utilizing the documentation a lot, so get ready to read a lot of documentation along with me and try out new things. The initial phase of the series will not be involving AI in any aspect. However, towards the end of the series, we're going to see how to utilize AI in terms of it recommending or just giving us some code that we can use, and we reviewing said code based on the knowledge that we have gained during the initial part of the series. So this is going to be a fulfilling one, and without further ado, let's get started. So generally, I like to have my code editor, or rather my terminal, set to a folder where I can just play around. In this case, I have a document, and inside of this documents folder, I have a folder called len, and inside of this folder, I have another folder called go, because we are learning, the Go language in this case. So we're gonna do a couple of things, right? And the prerequisites for us is to install Go on our machine. So the easiest way to do that is obviously to go to the Go developer docs, which is go.dev/doc, and pretty much follow what they have on their documentation. So it says here that if you haven't installed Go, you want to install Go and so on and so forth, right? So obviously, in this case here, we haven't done that. So I'm just going to say install Go. How do you install Go? Use the download and install steps, and it takes us over here. So it says that we can just download this, and we should be done with that. You can proceed with this installation for the specific system that you are using, be it Linux, Mac, or Windows. I'm on Windows and I have that installed already. So it's going to be an inconsistent thing for me to sort of download this again and try and install it here. But consider that your first task to have Golang installed. How do you know Golang is installed? When you can go to your terminal and type something like Go, and it gives you a list of options, and you can say Go version, and it gives you version GO 1.26.5, which corresponds with what we have here on the official document. Now, what we want to do is pretty much simple. We want to go back to the initial page we were on, and we want to just do this. So, they say that we should just, create a folder called hello. But in this case, we do not need that. So we're going to skip this as we already have a folder called go. And we're just going to be writing on our code there. So it says that when your code imports packages containing other modules, you manage those dependencies through your code's own module. That module is defined by a go.mod file that tracks the modules that provide those packages. That go.mod file stays with your code, including in your source code repository. To enable dependency tracking for your code by creating a Go mod file, run the go mod init command, giving it the name of the module your code will be in. The name is the module's module path. In actual development, the module path will typically be the repository location where the source code will be kept. For example, the GitHub path might be github.com/mymodule. If you plan to publish your module for others to use, the module path must be a location from which Go tools can download your module. For more about naming a module, read the module path, see managing dependencies. So pretty much, it's pretty much trying to say that we have packages, right? And packages are contained in this thing called a module. This is where we have all the dependencies that we're going to be utilizing across the whole project. And in order for us to define that, we have to create something called a go.mod file, if I get that correctly, which allows us, I'm guessing this will be the alternative or the similar representation of, let's say, a package.json file on a JavaScript project, or let's say a project.toml file for those who work with Python. And you just define a couple of the things in it, and they also give us a really good command here, go mod init, and then we specify the name and everything. So let's look at the example. Let's actually get this to work, right? So we have an empty repo here, just to be sure. It says go mod init, and then we specify the name of this. I'm just going to say something like go mod init, and I'm just going to call this learn. Okay, it created one called learn, and let's see what has been created, the go.mod file. Let me open my code editor and see how this looks like inside of it. Now, and also I'm gonna give you guys some sort of cheats that you can use in your editor to just make life better. Obviously, the more experienced devs the most likely know this already. But if you hold on Mac Command Shift P, you can do something called new profile. You want to do new profile here, and what this allows you to do is to have a separate profile for each particular type of development process you want to go through. This helps in managing things like extension, themes, settings, shortcuts. Right now we have AI, so MCP servers, and a couple more. So for this, I'm just going to call this Go, because we're going to be writing Go here, and I'm going to say create, and I'm going to just switch to this. As you can see, switching to this, I have nothing much here. I do have a couple of extensions that are present in every single profile of mine, which is the auto close tag, auto complete tag, rename tag, and then some themes and the material icon theme. But in this case here, what I need is the Go extension, yeah, which is going to be this one here, and I'm just going to install this. I'm going to trust the publishers and install, and we're just going to wait for that to get installed. So now we have that gone, we have that good to go. I'm going to go to my settings, I'm going to go to themes, and I'm going to go to file icon theme, and I'm going to select material icon theme. And then after that, I'm going to just do command T, I believe is what it's called. And then I'm just going to select a theme, right? Something that just works for us here. I'm just going to do something like, let's see. Yeah, this works well for me. And then I'm going to just make this maximum, and then I'm just going to increase the size of this, and I'm going to close the AI part of this here. So let's look at the file. Here it says module learn, and then go 1.26.5. So I'm guessing it also specifies obviously the version of Go that we are using, which makes a lot of sense. But let's go back to the documentation. It says create a file called hello.go, right? I'm just going to follow with this. I'm going to say hello.go, and then it says paste the following code into your hello.go file and save the file. So I'm not going to do that myself. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to just type this. So it says package main. We're going to be importing something called fmt, I guess. This is an interesting syntax because we are having this. I'm going to see how do I disable this right now. Disable AI. Let's see. Let me do this one more time. AI. How do I disable this? I'm just quickly gonna work on disabling this, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I have figured out how to do that. What we want to do is we want to go to our settings, and we're gonna pretty much just do this, right? So you want to look for the easiest way is just to come here all the way to chat, right? And then go to miscellaneous, and then you can see disable AI features, right? So that's the way you can just disable this from happening. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we're gonna just create a function, and it's gonna be called main, and then obviously we're gonna say fmt dot print line, which is what I'm guessing that is. fmt dot print. I think this was a okay. Was a large one. Print line, and then hello world. I guess this is what it is, right? Okay. Oh shit! I was writing this in the in the wrong file. Can you imagine? I'm just gonna paste this here now, and yeah, we should be good, right? So this is your Go code. In this code, you declare a main package. So a package is a way to group functions. It's made up of all the files in the same directory. Import the popular FMT package which contains functions for formatting text, including printing to the console. This package is one of the standard library packages. Now I'm just going to open this for another time. I'm also going to open this. Implement a function to print a message to the console. A main function executes by default when you run the main package. Run your code to see the greeting. So you want to just run go run that. So we're gonna just say go run, and then we're gonna do this, and I'm guessing it should run seamlessly then. Okay, it actually ran, it actually ran that for us saying this, and let me run it again. Okay, seems like after the initial time it takes to pretty much run the code, every other time you run it, it runs pretty much fast. So now it says go run command is one of the many Go commands you use to get things done with Go. Use the following command to get a list of the others. So let's just say go help, and then these are the couple of things we can do with it, which is nice. Now we wanna see this. Call code in an external package. When you need your code to do something that might have been implemented by someone else, you can look for a package that has functions you can use in your code. Make your printed messages a little more interesting with a function from an external module. Visit pkg.go.dev. So let's actually do this. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna go to pkg.go.dev, and it says I'm just gonna group this. I'm gonna call this later, and I'm gonna close it, and then I'm gonna go back here. Search for a quotes package. So I'm gonna say quotes. Oh, let me just say quotes. Okay, I can see something like this, quotes. In the search, locate and click on the v1 of the rsc.io/quotes. Okay, it says click on the v1. How do we go to the v1? Let's see. I'm not seeing the v1. It's not. Okay, I'm guessing this is gonna be this. I believe that should be the v1. It should be listed with the other major versions of RCS code. Okay, in the documentation section under index, note the list of functions you can call from your code. So I'm guessing there's a file here. Okay, these are the functions: glass, go, hello, and opt. Interesting. And then it says you can use the package to find published modules. Okay, packages are published in modules like rcs.code where others can use them. Modules are improved with new versions over time. You can upgrade your code to use improved version. In your Go code, import rsc.io code package and add a call to its Go function. After adding the highlighted lines, your code should include the following. Okay, I'm guessing what I want to do here is I want to do this because I guess because the link is called this or because this is the name or something. I don't know how this works, but I'm guessing I can just copy this, right, when I have a package, and then I can come all the way here and just import it. I think all imports have to be inside of a string, right? And from what I saw in the documentation, what we want to do here is it says that I know the documentation says something about quotes.go, right? But I want to see that's okay. There's a function here called go, and what happens is that it returns a go proverb, right? So I guess this just returns a text. Okay, so we're gonna just say quotes.go, and then since this is a function, obviously we need to call it inside of here, I believe. Let me see, am I missing? Okay, yeah. I noticed this, guys. When I did this, it says could not find go route because we were using small letters. It has to be go this way, I believe. And we also have to confirm. Let's see. Yeah, we should be good now with this. And then let's see, what exactly is the problem? Okay, so I think because we don't have this installed, I think this hasn't been installed, so we need to figure out how to install it. So it says go add the quote module as a requirement as well as a go.sum file for use. For more, see authenticating modules in the Go modules reference. So go mod tidy. What does go mod tidy do? We'll figure that out. But for the meantime, let's just run that. Okay, so I think this is how it installs the packages. So it's like it looks through your file and then it says, okay, hey, there's a package we need here. I'm gonna go install it and everything. Oh, and now we don't have the error anymore. Great. And then if I say go run this, we should have don't communicate by sharing memory, share memory by communicating. A proverb indeed from Go. Notice your code calls the Go function, printing a clever message about communication. When you run Go mod tidy, located and downloaded the module that contains the packages. So module contains the packages that you can use functions from. So each package is pretty much a set of functions that you can utilize in your code base, and the module pretty much holds all of this in it, right? So this is great. So now we're gonna go to the next case here, which is create a Go module. So this is the first part of a tutorial that introduces a few fundamentals. You'll create two modules. The first is a library which is intended to be imported by other libraries or applications, and then the second is a caller application, excuse me, which will use the first. So it includes 7 brief topics that each illustrate a different part of the language. Creating a module, call your code from another module, return and handle an error, return a random greeting, return greetings for multiple people, add a test, and then compile and install the application. Interesting. You need some programming experience. It is pretty simple, but it helps to know something about functions, loops, and arrays. We recommend using the latest version of Go for this, and a tool to edit your code, and then a command terminal. So, we want to start a module that others can use. Start by creating a Go module. In the module, you collect one or more related packages for a discrete and useful set of functions. For example, you might create the module with packages that have functions for doing financial analysis so that others writing financial application can use your work. For more about developing modules, see developing and publishing modules. I'm gonna still open this. I'm gonna just involve this in gonna add this in here for later on. For now, I don't think we need this, but I'm just gonna have that on here for a little bit. So Go code is grouped into packages and packages are grouped into modules. Okay, I guess we do have that correct. Your module specifies dependencies, okay, including the Go version and the set of other modules it requires, okay. So I think that's what the go.mod file does. And then as you add or improve functionality in your module, you publish new versions of the module. Developers writing code that call functions in your module can import the module's updated package and test with the new version before putting it into production use. Okay, interesting. Interesting. So it seems like we're gonna create a folder. Right, I'm just gonna create the folder right inside of here. I'm gonna say make directory. I'm gonna call it greetings, like it says in the doc, and then I'm gonna cd into greetings. Oh, okay, oh my bad. I'm gonna cd into greetings, and then I'm gonna do go mod init, and then it says okay, hey, run the go mod init, giving it your module path. Here use example.com/greetings. Okay, I'm just gonna say example.com/greetings. I guess there might be a reason why it want us to do this, but I'm just gonna create this in this way. And then we have that already. It says it creates the Go mod file to track your code dependencies. So far, the file includes only the name of your module and the code version. But as you add dependencies, the Go mod would list the version your code depends on. This keeps build reproducible and gives you direct control over which modules you want to use. So we want to just create a file in our code editor called greetings.go, and we want to just call it. So I think it is fundamental to use the name of the file, because I noticed here greetings.go, package greetings, hello.go, but the hello.go used package main. Is this because are we doing package greetings for a different reason? Okay, let's see. This is the first code. It returns to a greeting to a caller that asks for one. You write code that calls this function in the next step. In this code, you declare a greeting package to collect related functions, implement a hello function to return the greeting. The function takes a name, parameter whose type is string, and then the function also returns a string. In Go, a function whose name starts with a capital letter can be called by a function not in the same package. This is known in Go as an exported name. Okay, so a function that starts with capital letter, right? For example, hello can be called by another, can be called by a function that's not in the same package. Okay, interesting. Um, we're also gonna open this and we're gonna look at that at a different time. So declare a message variable to hold your greeting. In Go, the this syntax operator is a shortcut for declaring and initializing a variable in one line. Go uses the value on the right to determine the variable's type. Taking the long way, you might have written this as something else, var message string, message is equals to this, that, whatever. So you know you can use the FMT package to create a greeting message. The first argument is a format string and this. Okay. So let's look at the code a little bit here and let's see what's gonna happen. We're gonna import FMT and then we're gonna say package. It says that because we want to use the function in this module, or rather in this package, in another package that's not this, we have to start with a capital letters. We're gonna say hello, and okay, I think we're also passing in what we want to kind of like utilize here, because it says name string and then it says string here, but we're gonna figure that out later. And then it says return a message, so we're gonna say message. According to the documentation, this syntax here is pretty much this the initialization of a variable with a particular data, which then determines the type of the data since it's on the right side of this. And then we're gonna say fmt dot sprint. Is that sprint? Okay, sprint f. I think there's a difference here, but we're gonna see that later. So okay. Oh, this is not meant to be package. This is meant to be function rather. Sprint f, and then we're gonna say what? Hi. I don't know what add v means, but I guess you're gonna figure that out soon. And then we're gonna say welcome with an exclamation, and then here we're gonna say name, and then after that we're gonna return message. This is an interesting function here. Right off the bat, even without looking at it, I am guessing that this is gonna be, and pardon me if I'm using Python or JavaScript and TypeScript language, but I'm understanding this as we want to use this function and we are passing in what we are passing variables that are going to be set or utilized by this function. In this case, we need to pass in a name to the function for it to function properly. And with the way it's looking, since this is what we are passing to the function in order for it to utilize and prints first the message, I'm guessing that the string here outside of the parentheses is meant to also specify the type of the response. But we'll see in a minute, right? We'll see in a minute. Okay, yes, it says this here. Function hello. Hello here is the function name. Name string. Okay, so name is the parameter, and then we also specify the type of the parameter, and then we also specify the type for what we want to return. Okay, this makes a lot of sense now. So let's call our this from another module. Okay, great. So we're gonna go out and then we're gonna say go mod init, and then we're gonna say example.this, and then we're gonna say hello. Okay, I'm gonna create a folder called hello cd into hello, and then I'm gonna run the command again. Go mod init example.com hello. Okay, it says that to call the function, the hello function, print, do this, right? So we're gonna create in here what is the file? It's called a main. So this is a main.go file, I'm guessing. I'm just gonna call it main.go, and then here I'm gonna say package main. We're gonna import FMT again, but it seems like we're gonna import something else. Okay, I think I can just, instead of doing this multiple times, I can just do something like this, FMT, and then I can do example.com/greeting. greetings rather, and then I can say function main, and then message equals to greetings dot hello, and then I guess you're gonna pass in the parameters Gladys, right? Or we can just say here outworks, and then we're gonna say return message. Okay. So we do need FMT, so it's not a normal return. It's gonna be FMT dot print line message. Okay. So in this code, we declare the main package. We code executed as an application must be in the main package. Okay. We import two packages, example.com and then FMT. This gives our code access to functions in those packages. Okay. So edit the example.com hello module to use your local example. This for production, you publish the example greetings module from its repository where Go tools could find it and download it. For now, because you haven't published the module yet, you need to adapt the module so that we can use it. Okay, so we want to do dot go mod. Okay, since the package for the greetings hasn't been pushed to the internet, I guess, and we need to work locally, we need to be able to find all this here locally. So what we want to do is we want to do this. If I'm not going to copy this, I'm just going to say go mod. I think it's called the go mod edit, and then what I want to say is replace /replace and then I'm going to say example.com / greetings, which I believe that's what it is equals to /greetings. Since remember we have a folder here called greetings where we initialize the go mod in it. Since that hasn't been pushed yet, I think this is to specify this, so I'm just gonna do that, and let's see. Okay, let's see if there are changes to our go.mod file. Okay, there was a change to our go.mod file. And then we're going to say, okay, the command found the local code in this, then added the require, okay, and then the number following the path is the pseudo version number. Okay, to reference this, we typically omit the replace and use the okay, and then at the point, so if we run this, interesting, it still gave us an error. So what exactly? Oh, okay. The error here is in regards to what I have here. I think this is my fault, right? This should be example in this way. So now if we do this, okay, so what exactly is the issue? If this is this and I come here, I'm just gonna copy this and then I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna paste this here, and then here I'm gonna paste this, and then let's do a go mod tidy, I guess. Okay. I guess you have to do a go mod tidy. I guess it's a necessity to go mod tidy. So I'm just gonna say go run. Oh, and he actually worked. Great. So this is straightforward, right? So far so good. We've learned a couple of things. We're just gonna fast track. I'm gonna quickly go to my editor. I'm gonna delete everything here just to be sure that we actually got everything we needed to get. So the first things first we want to do is we want to initialize our project using the Go mod init, and we want to specify the module name because a module is the starting point for a project, which in this case, for a real project, you would most likely want to point this to an actual URL, which is the repository where the source code is going to live. But in this case here, obviously, we're just gonna do things like, let's say hello, or let's just say examples, right? Oh, sorry, I didn't leave this place. I need to, what exactly is going on? Cd documents, learn, and then go. Okay, so now I want to say go mod init learn. So now I have my file, which is just a go.mod, and then I want to come in here and I want to create something called the main.go file, because this is the main file, and everything is when you want to run a package or when you want to run a program in Go, it has to run through the main file. So I guess we have to call this main, and then we want to import fmt here is a standard package, and then we want to initialize the function, and then we want to say main, and then we want to have a parenthesis, and then open curly braces, and we put our function here, which is going to be fmt, excuse me, dot printf. And if you noticed, every single one of this function starts with a capital letter, which means that these functions are coming from a different package, which makes a lot of sense. And then I'm gonna just say hello. If I remember correctly, when you do something like this /v, right, what you're doing there is pretty much specifying that that space is gonna be replaced by an actual value, and then here we're gonna say something like okay, no, let's just say hello, right? Let's just say hello here. I think for now we don't need to do this, so we're just going to say hello and welcome. And then when we run everything, it should run easy. Okay, welcome. And then we want to create a new folder, and we're going to call this greet. Inside of here, we want to move to that folder called greet, and then we want to run go mod init, and then we're going to call this greet. And then inside of here, we want to create a file called greet.go, and then here we want to say import fmt, and then we want to say function, because this is a function we want to call somewhere. We have to call it this greet me, right? We can just say greet me, and then we'll say my name, and then we'll specify what this is going to be, which is going to be a string. Then we have to specify what is going to be returned in the response, which is also going to be a string. And then inside of here, we're going to write what we need. So we're going to say fmt dot fmt dot print. I believe it should be fmt dot, no, I believe it should be response. Response is equals to fmt dot sprintf, and then we're gonna say hello, and then we're gonna do the v, and then we're gonna do welcome, and then here we're gonna pass my name, and then here we're gonna say return response. And then now I think if we go to our main.go, we can also import from here. Then we can do great. And then in here we can do go mod. No, we need to go back to the main place, and we can do here go mod edit, and then we do a replace, and then we can say greet. We can say greet, and then we can do slash greet. But in this case here, since this is not going out to a different file, we can just do this, and it's going to be slash greet, I believe. And then we can do go mod tidy, and okay, we can remove this. Okay, and then we can say greet fmt dot sprint line fmt dot sprint line, and then we can say greet dot greet, I believe, dot greet me, and then we'll pass in here Emmanuel, and then let's see, go more tidy, and then we can run go run. I think we can just do a print line, and let's see. Okay, hello, welcome. Hello, Emmanuel, welcome. So yeah, we've pretty much gotten a hang of how modules, packages, and functions work in Go. We have a little bit of understanding of the syntax. We can read a little bit more into the FMT and the standard packages and everything, but we'll do that for a next video. So far so good. We've understood how to make sure that we are on the latest versions, how to make sure that we are editing it in cases where we do not have internet access or internet published yet for a package, and so many other things. It's been a great start, guys. And yeah, in the next video we're going to be looking at how to handle an error, especially when we have an issue, and so much more, right? It's going to be a really interesting one. Really looking forward to seeing what you think about the video in the comment section. Feel free to drop any questions you have, and I'll answer as quick as possible. And I hope you guys like the video and everything. You don't have to like the video or anything, but if you feel like the video helped you and you're moved to like it, then please feel free to like, subscribe, or do whatever engagements that will be needed here. This video is being created just as a hobby of mine to just learn as I'm teaching, and as I'm also learning myself, and just pretty much have so many people that I'm improving with, especially when it comes to this journey of being a better developer. Looking forward to see you guys next time. Do have a great day. Bye.